Now today, Governor Mike DeWine issuing a veto going against his own party on a bill that would have banned gender-affirming medical care for trans youth and prevented transgender girls from taking part in girls' and women's sports.
The governor said medical decisions for minors are best left up to their parents and their doctors.
Now that veto getting strong reaction tonight, and I spoke with people on both sides and learned about what could be next.
These are gut-wrenching decisions that should be made by parents and should be informed by teams of doctors who are advising them.
Governor DeWine saying his veto of House Bill 68 came after about 2 weeks of conversations with lawmakers, doctors, and families impacted by gender-affirming medical care. The governor said some families shared bad experiences, others pointed to care being critical.
I've also listened to youth and parents. Parents have looked me in the eye and have told me that but for this treatment, their child would be dead.
The bill would have prohibited minors in Ohio from taking puberty blockers and undergoing other hormone therapies or receiving gender reassignment surgery to further align them with their gender identity. The veto, hearing that, as a father, as a parent, how do you react?
Tears of joy.
Nick Bates' 13-year-old identifies as non-binary, and Nick has long spoken out about House Bill 68, saying it would threaten the joy and safety of Ohio's LGBTQ+ community.
We know that overwhelmingly kids that don't have supporting loved ones, don't have access to gender-affirming care, are at a higher risk of self-harm and suicide. And the governor has shown these kids and these families that they have love and support in the state of Ohio today.
Several Ohio lawmakers were quick to voice their frustrations over DeWine's veto.
I've already texted the speaker. I am strongly advocating for an override vote as quickly as possible.
State Representative Adam Byrd supported House Bill 68.
It's a safety issue, and it's something that Ohioans really want.
He told me gender transitioning is harmful to youth. Other critics believe patients should wait until they're legally an adult to make such health decisions.
There's such a thing as gender dysphoria, and I understand that happens. And so when that happens, that young person needs counseling. I don't think that the answer is to affirm that confusion and to help them by mutilating healthy parts of their body. That once that happens, that can't be returned. It's life-altering.
And I think that's frankly a fallacy that's out there that this goes right to surgery. It just doesn't. All the children's hospitals, say we don't do surgeries.
But the governor stating he does want to address important issues via administrative rules, working with his administration and the legislature. DeWine said he would like to ban gender-affirming surgeries for those under 18, collect comprehensive data on those receiving gender-affirming care, and prevent pop-up clinics so families receive adequate counseling regarding gender-affirming care.
What I'm trying to stake out is to do this the Ohio way. And the Ohio way is to approach things in a systematic manner, to follow the evidence, to be careful, and that's really what we're doing.
Now, a 3/5 vote of the members of the House and Senate is necessary to override the governor's veto. That means 60 representatives and 20 senators. Now, the bill passed with support from 64 representatives and 24 senators. So Representative Byrd, who you heard from earlier, told me that he believes the votes are there to get this override passed. We'll be following through on this important story.